Finally at 6, our trip back down the Pennsylvania Road gives us a glimpse of what life was like closer to a century ago. Mike Stevens brings us to Monroe County in 1998 to show us some examples of the way things used to be.
The display is called Stepping Out in Monroe County, and it's at the Stroud Mansion of the County Historical Association. Shoes used to be fairly important to folks 100 years ago. Today, we think nothing of buying a pair or 3 or 6.
If they had 2 pairs of shoes, they were probably upper middle class because you would only need really the 1 pair. Of course, if you were rich, you could have 3 or 4 pairs.
Executive Director Candace McGreevy. She did some research putting this display together and found that manufacturers of shoes used to promise a lot.
If you wear their brand of shoes, you will have more energy, you will live longer, and probably have more children and just go to church more regularly, everything.
As an aside, Candace brought out some advertising from the day and put it out too, right along with the shoes. In ads, Mapes Manures promised 500 bushels of potatoes from 1 acre. In 1940, you could buy garden tools for 49 cents. Those a little better cost 98. In 1925, a movie called The Flirt hit town. Listen to the copy for it.
The frozen fires of her heart melted in the cauldron of love.
The newspapers back then stood head and shoulders above everything when it came to communication.
The newspaper was really the form of communication. If it wasn't in the newspaper, it didn't happen.
Right.
That was it.
There were all kinds of notes in the papers about the comings and goings around town. The writing was more graphic than most today. Here's a story about John Zimmerman, who met a terrible death on the Lackawanna Railroad. He was hit by a milk train. They put in a lot of detail. It is interesting, I think, to go back over time and look at how we viewed things. What we saw is important, what we wore, and why. And there are always a few surprises. Some good ideas that were hot but chilled over time. A ceramic water bottle for your feet.
I think it's brilliant. I can't understand why we don't still have them.
Maybe they were before their time back then, in the good old days. I'm Mike Stevens, News Watch 16 on the Pennsylvania Road in Stroudsburg.